Hear ye, hear ye. It is week 1 of season 11 of the most entertaining and longest running fantasy daily football only daily fantasy show. 11 years. So this should be a good show because we got Mr. Tuttle back on the show. For those that don't know, Tuttle is a legend. And so we are going to be going through week 1. Going to be picking his brain a little bit and also seeing where he stands in all the best ball contests. That's coming up next on the Swolecast, season 11 on RotoGrinders.com.
Can you name Mattek from the Swolecast? I was like, yep, that's me.
I just want you guys to know I'm total dust. I'm the problem.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Leave it to the guy with the crypto dunes, Abby, to not understand context.
I should have known you getting 30 likes was directly written by someone else.
You know me, I don't do a ton of research before the show.
I've put no research into this. Don't know if it's true at all.
You're on the right show.
To it, bro. Live a little.
Live a little.
Just live a little, guys.
Welcome back. I am so stoked. We got Tuttle on. Yeah, Steve says season 11 or season 10. I don't know. It might be season 10. I know that I got an alert yesterday that said 10 years ago, you and Drew Dinkmeyer were starting off the NFL kickoff show. So that was a fun little watch down memory lane. Soccer
Wow.
David Kitchen here, joined by Peter Overzet, Davis Mattek, and the man who has his own starting 5 now, Dan Gaspar, Mr. Tuttle 05. Tuts, how's it going?
It's going well. Sorry for the delay to get on here. I was trying to put a picture of a baby on the background and a bunch of little babies, but
Yeah.
I got logged out of the StreamYard account. I don't know my login info, and it's been that long since I've been on a show, so I can't change my background.
You've got your hands full. Like it's
You
it's to be
abandoned us,
expected.
Dan.
Yeah.
You straight up, you said, you know what, Davis, Peter, Dave, my friends, the guys who are always there for me. Dan, I'm a child of divorce, so I kind of took it hard that you weren't willing to learn what team Jacoby Myers played for in order to do off-season shows with us. Honestly, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I know. I apologize. I will say this off season would have been easier for me to like actually log on and do than talking about Top Shots and crypto all of last off season.
I don't think the word NFT. I don't think the word NFT got mentioned once the entire summer. We were straight to business.
No. And seeing how hard Tuttle works in the background on the projections and the ownership and the college football product, just lamenting how Nebraska's roster included, their depth chart includes a guy with a torn ACL, and just seeing him tilt. The guy works hard. And so I don't want people to think because he wasn't on the Swolecast that he's not a hard worker, because that's what people associate with the Swolecast is hard work. So, Tuttle, are you ready to enter this draft and underdog?
Oh, I'm not entering.
It's going to be sad to say goodbye to hot basketball summer, but looking forward to it, Tuttle.
You got to enter. We told everybody that this would be your best ball draft and underdog.
Do you need to deposit? Do we need to send you? We can send you.
I need to download the app. I need to deposit.
I'm maxed out.
All those
Tuttle,
things.
I'm maxed out too.
I'm maxed out as well. We're counting on you.
Yeah.
Although maybe Cam can hook me up now that he's the VIP, the VP there at Underdog.
Oh,
right.
public service announcement to my fellow grinders. It is double tier credit week on DraftKings. So if you, like me, have to literally grind every single micro skinny edge in order to get to diamond status, which is a huge bump up in the crowns you get back and the rewards you get. Week 1 is a good week to go all in because you're getting double the tier credits.
Yeah.
Where's your MLB Iron Man sitting at, Davis? How many days?
I've got it every single day. I haven't missed one.
What a guy. I was tilting a little bit because I'd already maxed out the DraftKings Millie. And so they were giving like credits for if you entered a few,
only
4,000 crowns.
Only 3,000 crowns. It's max 3 redemptions.
Yeah, so
I had to enter DraftKings Best Balls because they gave me like 5 or 6 tickets.
They gave you tickets.
It was the worst thing I've done all summer.
No, they weren't normal
DraftKings.
Tickets. I bet they weren't normal tickets. Were they the $10 or were they?
Yeah, they were only the $10 ones. They weren't the $5.55.
Oh,
although I saw like screenshots of those too. That just looks like miserable. It's just a bunch of sharks, just like throwing money back and forth.
Okay, so Tuttle, are you going to enter a best ball and share your screen?
I'm not. Sosa already said psych on the twitter.com, so I know this is a joke.
Sosa! Dude, come on.
We just try to do one bit around here.
What are you doing?
One bit.
I told you before the show I was doing that. I didn't think Tuttle was going to be sitting on Twitter. I didn't tag him.
Oh my god.
Sosa's looking out for the dads out here. I appreciate it, Sosa.
You should know, Sosa.
Just well within the tradition of the show, the bit gets ruined before it even starts. But I know Peter has. Come on, tell me, Peter, you've been in the lab. You've been working on this Overzets overview for months.
We do have an Overzets overview. If by in the lab you mean in the past 25 minutes, then yes, I have been in the lab on it. But we do have.
Peter, have you had this feeling where you're like, wait, there are week 1 games I actually have to know something about because I've been spending the entire last 4 months knowing nothing about week 1,
Yes.
like literally not paying any attention at all to who's playing who in week 1.
Yeah, Pete, when we say like Kansas City, do you think like the Bengals? Like are you just so programmed into week 17?
When I had RotoPat on the randomizer, someone gave us a prompt where RotoPat had to guess week 17 matchups and I had to guess week 1, and he knows all the week 1 matchups and I know all the week 17. And we literally, the only one I knew is Chiefs Lions for the first. That's the only game. I know now I'm up to like 6 or 7, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now is when we have to and this is why we do this show. It's for people that are just now tuning in. We've been doing it for so long, but we also are like the only show to really give you the first look for what's happening on this. Is why we do it on a Wednesday. Obviously, things are going to change.
I think Smiz did a first look 7 weeks ago. So I think we might have been beaten to the punch for the first look show.
Yeah. Well, we do the first look show differently than Smiz does. He does his actually the first look show. This is just really the first time we look at the slate, and we enjoy it together. So, we have a little bit of overview. Pete, I know that you do the SiriusXM show, so you've had plenty of time, the 30 minutes after your SiriusXM show ended, and all the commercial breaks. So, without further ado,
the commercial breaks, yeah.
Without further ado, let's get to Overzet's overview.
He's got that dog in him. What? He's got that dog in him. What? Overzet's overview. Come on.
Amazing.
All right. It is time for Overzet's overview. It feels great to be back. We finally emerged from hot best ball summer, which means Tuttle no longer has a legitimate excuse to avoid us. So sorry, Tuttle, you're stuck with us the rest of the season. I do want to say, just because I know there's probably new viewers, people tuning in for DFS, they're not kind of familiar with what we're about around here, our mission statements. First and foremost, I just want you guys to know, no drama. We do no drama. We got the best tools. We got the best projections, the best communities. We build winners, plain and simple. And, this isn't about touting. This is about business for me because I submit my time card once a month and I get paid by Better Collective. No drama. Just want people to know that. As we kind of look forward to this year, there are going to be some changes. Davis is no longer doing DFS projections this year. I don't know if people heard that. Which means he's not going to tell us Tutu Atwell is a great play because of his points per dollar value on DraftKings. It's going to be because Short King Summer is still in full swing. So everyone look forward to vibes-based analysis from Davis going forward. Last time we saw David Kitchen drafting a best ball team, he was blindfolded. You guys remember that? Last time we saw Kitchen playing DFS, it looked like his teams were built blindfolded. So some things never change here with David Kitchen. This week 1 slate, like every year, it's a true Wild West because DraftKings had to release their salaries in June. And because they had to focus on airdropping DK Trolls holders a companion NFT or something like that. I don't know what the roadmap is. It's you guys got to figure it out. But let's dig into the meat and potatoes of this slate, guys, because at QB, sure, you can pay up for Hurts or Lamar, or you can clutch your rosary beads and punt it off with Anthony Richardson or Sam Howell. It's a great week for punting in cash. We will throw it ultimately to David Kitchen to let us know which one of those guys we can punt it with. At running back, there's a lot of value. Raheem Mostert, Samaje Perine, both in the 5Ks here on DraftKings. And Derrick Henry is going to be very popular, which just actually feels like a fitting way to start the season. Fading Derrick Henry and having him shove it down our throats. There's no other way I would want to start a new DFS calendar year. At wide receiver, everyone's going to be able to get up to one of Jamar Chase, or Jefferson with all the value. I'll be lock buttoning Marvin Mims for one beautiful week until it's revealed that he is just KJ Hamler 2.0. So let's just enjoy it while we have it. And every good tight end is questionable, which means we'll talk ourselves into playing Mac Hollins backup for 4,500.
Oh, God.
Dave, it feels so great to have the writer's strike lifted.
Yeah.
Back to you for the Swolecast.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Great to have the Overzets overview back on the show. Let's just dive into as far as the slate as a whole. As a whole, Davis, what are you thinking about the slate? Going cheapy running backs? You going against the grain, maybe expensive running backs this week?
Well, this is, it's sort of what ended up happening last year, where the contrarian thing was to pay up at running back. I mean, that is what ended up being the meta on DraftKings last year. Instead of playing Jefferson, Tyreek, Chase, Adams, I actually think Adams ends up being the really good pivot. I would. The Broncos have a corner, right? Patrick Surtain, he's the son.
We're back.
He's the son.
Perfect.
And Patrick Surtain is a junior, and his dad was a cornerback, right?
Surtain, yeah.
Let's go. Okay. All right.
Aren't you
dude.
worried?
I know, dude. I know ball. I know ball. So that means McCaffrey, Eckler. I mean, Bijan. You want to talk about psychic scars of Arthur Smith? Bijan Robinson, had he been drafted, we talked about this all summer, but had he been drafted by any other team other than the Atlanta Falcons, he would have maybe been the first overall pick in fantasy football. Tuttle, I do not have the projections up. I am going to guess you and your friends over at RotoGrinders.com have Bijan projected for 8.3% ownership in large field contests. Is that higher or lower?
6.97, it looks like.
Okay, so not too far off. That this is a first look show. That might end up being my flag plant. Bijan against the Panthers might be my flag plant.
And also ownership changes throughout the week. This is just like
I'm pretty sure it's kind of just set.
It's going to stay pretty stagnant.
It's stagnant.
That first,
especially the first initial run of it.
No, because I did listen to Blender's show this morning while at the office gym. No big deal. But he was looking at some of the ownership projections with Noto, and he made it clear that the ownership projections would change.
But nothing is going to happen on this slate. There's no news that could happen that would get Bijan above 11%. There literally is nothing that could happen. Like the spend up plays on this slate will be Jefferson, Tyreek, and Chase. I feel extremely confident about that.
I will say if you have a issue with ownership projections this year, just at Chris Jamino or at Kyle Murray. I'd want to say Kyler.
Jamino, he loves it. Jamino loves to debate ownership projections with you. It's like one of his favorite things. Love Jamino.
The best is when people criticize the early look ones, like down to the point. Like, I don't know, this seems a couple % off. And it's like on like a Monday. It is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. So you've got the we're about to touch on quarterbacks in a second, but you have the top two team totals being a team with two new offensive coordinators. People are just really stoked about both these offenses in the Ravens and the Chargers. Anything else, Tuttle, that we really need to be looking out for this week for week 1?
I'm not your guy, man. I'm not
Keep
that
an eye
guy,
out.
pal.
Keep an eye out.
I was out here grinding Northwestern market shares before the show started in Eastern Carolina versus Marshall, man. I'm not that guy for the updated news. I'll give you.
He's not that guy, pal.
I will say, I ran a bunch of aggregated lineups before I came on just to pretend like I knew what I was talking about a little bit.
Yeah,
it looks ugly out there. This doesn't even look like a fun slate. Like the top running backs we're getting are like Deion Jackson, Kenneth Walker, Jamal Williams, Alexander Madison.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with the Bijan stuff is like, I'm not piling it all in. I've been waiting all summer for this. I'm not playing Deion Jackson. Like, I want to play with my fun toys.
Yeah,
I'm not doing Deion Jackson.
And Jamal Williams will get shut out. Will just get shut. He might have negative points.
I actually think Jamal probably you just play him in cash.
I prefer Jamal on FanDuel where it's half point PPR, not going to catch a lot of passes.
See, so I need somebody because I'm out of the NFL news cycle. I need somebody to tell me where the uncertain situations are.
Yeah.
Because
Jamal
I think
is
that's
not
week
very
1, right?
uncertain. Jamal is not very uncertain. Kamara's suspended. Kendre Miller has a hamstring injury. The other guys there have been all depth pieces.
I do not trust New Orleans, number 1. Number 2, the defense from the Titans is just going to be
all right, mute
nasty.
Sosa. Can we mute Soccer Dave?
No, Sosa's too busy.
Tuttle, I would say these are some of the most uncertain situations that could impact who wins $1 million in week 1. The Cleveland wide receiver rotation could be Elijah Moore gets like a crazy good target role. I think Baltimore between Beckham, Flowers, and Bateman. Anyone who tells you, I mean, I certainly have made my bets on Flowers and Bateman, but I'm very open to being wrong, and I will be playing Odell Beckham in week 1, so Bill Barnwell will unblock me on twitter.com, formerly known as X. I think the Jacksonville running back rotation is pretty uncertain. The Eagles backfield, if you get the Eagles backfield right in week 1, and the $1 million play would be playing Quentin Johnston on DraftKings.com because everyone's going to be playing Palmer.
And
so we have Elijah Moore projected for fairly high ownership, but in the aggregate builds I was doing, he's not showing up a lot. So that means someone out there is pretty low on him in general. What do you think the consensus will be come Sunday? Do you think it'll all be like, okay, he's a pretty solid play?
I would be very surprised if he ends up being pretty chalky because all the Nathan Yonke tweet readers all offseason have been reading that he only plays in 3 wide receiver sets. And Njoku basically never leaves the field, and it's Donovan Peoples-Jones who plays. And then there's a very small segment of Yonke readers who like Cedric Tillman.
The other thing is Amari Cooper's not that expensive either, right? 5,800. Yeah. And if I do think we can look at some best ball stuff just to see how sentiment carries over, and the market was firmly on Amari over Elijah Moore. I think that carries over.
Yeah. And we do have 2 min-price receivers to figure out what we're going to do. Jaden Reed, especially if Dobbs is out this week.
Christian Watson didn't practice today with a hamstring injury.
Oh boy.
So Jaden Reed might be the answer to who is the 3K wide receiver in week 1.
Yeah, and then
so we're going to stack Jordan Love with Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave and call it a day.
Yeah.
Which is one you're going to mention, Kitchen, because there's one I feel like you're leaving out.
There's a short. Nope. No.
Yeah. Rams wide receiver.
No, it's Puka Nacua.
Dave, can we get our first bet? Can we get our first bet on the board for the year at Tutu versus Puka straight up PPR points?
Yeah.
$25 booked.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you. You want to send it to me in Bitcoin?
Shooting fish in a barrel. All right.
Dave's gonna write about this bet in his Cave-ish newsletter.
Yeah. I don't understand why Dave is fascinated with Nacua. I actually don't get it.
Did you not see last week that they said he would be immediately on the field, getting touches, explosive, that sort of thing?
Tutu already has been explosive on the field in the NFL.
If Tutu gets points for fair catches, sure, but that's not
Dave,
this league.
Dave,
so
have fun staying poor, David Kitchen.
Let's get on to quarterbacks. Davis, I do feel like quarterbacks for FanDuel cash games are a little different than DK tournaments. What is your opinion on the FanDuel cash game quarterback situation?
I don't know. You think I should play? Should I deposit?
Yes.
I'll play week one. I'll play week one. And if I win, I'll keep playing. And if I lose, I'm not going to deposit again.
We should guess how much money I have in my FanDuel account. I have not logged in since the NFL playoffs.
I know I have $0.
This is a how rich moment for.
No, it's not.
No, because Peter, the only money he won were off the free rolls and then doubling up from last year on the teams that we.
I thought it was going to be I haven't logged in.
Yeah,
I know I have $0 because I drove over to Illinois and put it all in for the Super Bowl, and then Jerick McKinnon kneeled on the 1 yard line. So none of my same game parlays hit because they all had McKinnon anytime TD.
All right, just as a reminder, make sure to like and subscribe. The road to 10K continues on this year. Leave a comment. We'll be reading some of the comments throughout the season. So even if you're watching live, leave a comment.
They
after
locked
this
my account.
Is over.
Oh no!
Oh, that's really how long it's been since you logged in. That'll happen.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started on just overall the quarterback situation. Cheap versus the unknown versus the elite, right? Davis?
Well, Lamar and Hurts are going to be the chalk. I think some people will play Jalen Hurts in cash. Other people will play Anthony Richardson. The truly brave amongst us will play Sam Howell. To me, I think the two best tournament quarterbacks are both going to be a little bit underowned. And quarterback, we talk about this all the time. It's well-worn territory, but quarterback chalk never really gets too out of control, especially when they all project pretty similarly. But Herbert and Tua, I'm really looking at Tua, who is overpriced relative to his median projection. He's 6,700, but projects slightly worse than Lawrence, Burrow, Herbert, yada, yada. But I think that that game is the one that I'm looking at. But you can get weird with it because you can play a chain, you can play Johnston. You can play Durham Smythe if you are a real sicko.
Gross.
So there are some ways I think to play into the chalky spots while not playing the most owned permutations.
Yeah, I feel like Herbert's going to be pretty decently. It's probably going to be spread out, but I think he's going to have plenty of ownership, Pete.
Yeah, I think maybe third, Hurts, Richardson, Lamar, Herbert. That's why I do like the Tua call, right? That's the best game on the slate as far as
Are people going to play Richardson in tournaments though? Feels like classic, play the quarterback in cash, but don't play him in tournaments.
I think I think he's more risky in cash. I think he's possibly even unnecessary in cash on week one.
My whole take on Anthony Richardson, and this applied to best ball too and carries over here, is I think people oversell the Anthony Richardson ceiling and undersell the floor. I think he's got a great floor. How is he? He's not putting up 30 points here. He's just not doing that.
Yeah,
he'd have to get the rushing bonus and score twice to have a GPP winning score. Because I do think, the Jonathan Taylor stuff, the wide receiver room, they kept 4 wide receivers and 5 tight ends, I think. It's gonna be some real 1980s style football for the Colts.
Yeah, but I'm Herbert's 1,300 more. So why wouldn't you just play him in cash? Is my thing.
Right. Kitchen, you got to give us the definitive Deshaun Watson take.
I'm gonna let that slide, but just no one listened to that.
Why? Well, Peter just agreed.
Well, I disagree because I'm not playing cash, so I'm sure it's fine.
It's not, hey, buddy, it's not week 18. Peter is not in the cash game streets. Are we running it back this year? Are you in? Is this year 4 of doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Week 18?
It's a tradition.
But Davis, you don't think that Herbert is a safer play for cash games for 1,300 more? I would get it if you're talking about Howell and Lamar on FanDuel where there's this huge gap.
David, Herbert is not a cash play. If you're spending at quarterback, it's Jalen Hurts. If you are saving, it is Richardson or Howell.
Okay. All right. Deshaun Watson, only 6K on DK.
That's low key a good game. It's I actually can see
Cleveland's playing Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Potential for just a huge week 1 game here.
I like
Here-
Njoku in that game.
I want to ask more of a philosophical question because I know a lot of our audience, myself included, we got best ball brain. Philosophically,
thinkers.
how do you approach your main lineups this week in DFS? Are you hedging against your massive best ball exposures? Or are you playing the hits? Like, am I putting in Sam Howell and Marvin Mims and all the guys I've been drafting?
No, by the time Sunday morning rolls around, I need to erase everything that I've thought for the last.
Yes.
Like DFS needs to be something entirely separate because if I go in bag defending, I'm gonna have a bad time. Like I cannot allow myself to do that.
Your subscribers are too smart for that, Pete. Come on, give them more credit.
As a former DraftKings pro, I will say you have to take it into a vacuum. Like it's got to be, you just have to focus on week 1 and week 1 only. You can't focus on all your bags that you've been aggressively pumping.
But what if Sam Howell and Marvin Mims are two of the most objective best
then
plays
play
on
them.
the slate? Well, that's
Then
what I'm
play
asking.
'em.
But there's obviously
now
Peter,
a spot. So I think this is like a pretty good spot actually to think about what can you learn from best ball? How can best ball help you be better at this or see a wider range of outcomes? I think someone like Zay Flowers versus Bateman versus Odell, depending on what the ownership projections might be, because if Zay Flowers is in this game that we all like and Lamar is chalk, but Zay Flowers is projected to be the 4th most owned Ravens weapon after Andrews, Bateman, and Odell. I think that would be a spot where Best Ball Brain might help you. Now, if Zay is projected to be chalk, if Zay is projected to be the most owned Ravens wide receiver and Odell, because the Best Ball Bros don't like Odell, he's the low man, then that's where, it's just context dependent.
We have so many different plays on here. That's why I think it's tough to really get stuck too much, especially for tournaments, on like specific quarterbacks because there are so many options. Like we're not even talking about Justin Fields right now, and we saw what his ceiling was last week.
Fields and
last
DJ
year.
Moore. Fields and DJ Moore does feel like you're looking at lineup. Pete's doing his best ball stream on Monday morning, and you look back at it and you go, wait. Fields and DJ Moore was like 3% combinatorially owned. Like that feels wrong. Like that feels insane.
Yeah.
The obvious one that we've seen the last 3 seasons that's going to happen just again, and it happens again every year. We think Lamar Jackson's going to be owned. He's not rostered. None of his pass catchers are rostered. Mark Andrews catches 3 touchdowns. Zay Flowers gets in the end zone or something. It's going to be a Lamar Jackson that's like 5% owned stack that ends up winning.
Do you think
everything.
people are going to?
I will say.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think people are going to be scared off of the Q tag with Andrews? Or are they going to jam him because he's by far the best tight end?
You have to figure out.
Be a little scared.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll be fear. Like last year, we had one primary pass catcher for Lamar. Like what scares me now is like trying to figure out, like it could not be Andrews this year. Like it could be, or this week, it could be one of their 3 different wide receivers that they have. So you also have J.K. Dobbins. Like you just don't know. And that's why you embrace that uncertainty. What are the quarterbacks that you're just like out on? Might be semi-popular, but you're just out on, Davis.
Quarterback options that I'm not considering for tournaments.
Yeah. Like Brock Purdy.
I mean, I definitely would not play Kirk, Stafford. I don't know, and any of the Young, Stroud, and I definitely won't play Richardson in tournaments either. I will. I mean, maybe I will play him in cash. I don't know. It's Wednesday, but
why
none of the
playing
rookies.
Kirk?
I don't know. It just feels like whatever. Feels like you're playing him into massive Justin Jefferson chalk, and I don't really know if the Buccaneers can push them that much.
If you're doing ones that are like at the high end, like, not just like the low hanging fruit. I mean, I don't really want to play Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Coming off this on the road at Cleveland doesn't seem like a fun time to me.
All right. Let's move on to creating an actual DraftKings lineup. As you know, how it works, we give the overview. We go quarterbacks. We go DraftKings lineup. Then we go running backs, wide receivers, FanDuel lineup, tight ends, and then we end this show. So
we didn't.
Tuttle.
We got someone in the chat here. I need somebody's take. This is what the Blitz is spitting out early. Baker Mayfield. What are the?
Yeah, I think he's got
destinations?
Baker projected for like 303 passing yards or something early.
The dome
What's the
boners
market
out
on
in
him?
full force early.
Any idea? I'm
Well,
curious
they're playing.
how
They're
over
playing.
market that is on him.
I mean, it's probably about 100 yards over.
I like
market,
Rashad
but-
White.
Yeah, I don't.
Bring that up.
Can I do have to give my weekly PSA. I know we're a little rusty here. For all of the edge seekers out there, we do have a few free rolls on DraftKings.com. A couple of the classics, 5K draft time matchups presented by Miller Lite. We also have the tried and true, the Steady Eddie 5K Guinness time challenge. But this year we got a new one, guys, and I'm really excited about this one. It's a $20,000 guaranteed prize pool, completely free to enter. It's the fast start to NFL kickoff powered by Fast Twitch. That's where I will be putting today's Swolecast lineup.
What is
I'll be
Fast
putting
Twitch? Is it like a health
fucking
company?
I'll be putting this lineup in the congratulations on completing week 1 of the tailgates and touchdowns promotion. 25K in prizes for people who completed this mission on DraftKings. So I need to realize some equity here, fellas.
Fast Twitch is an energy drink from Gatorade.
Sounds
wonder
like
if these
something
companies-
David Kitchen would review on Cavish in a future edition.
I would need to go get me some.
Guys, NFL season is back. I am getting cash game head-to-head invites from the chat. We are well back to NFL season.
Tigole Betiz said that you basically he just mocked your thing that Anthony Richardson's the only cash game quarterback play.
I mean, I might end up playing Hurts, but I feel very.
Well, you'll end up playing whoever the secret chat consensus is. Let's be real.
Correct.
Let me see. Let me just say, Sam Howell optimal lineups are looking
pretty good,
very feisty.
Yeah.
Very feisty.
Love.
All right, Tuttle.
I mean, I see these ones jamming in JJ, Tyreek, and I can't think of the other guy's name. Jamar. Which is just ridiculous.
I agree.
Just the number 2 ADP wide receiver. All right, Tuttle, you get first pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
First pick for Tutsky.
This is so bad. I want to do it though. Can I do it?
Yeah. Yes, you can do whoever you want.
I'm not even a homer, but this is the price point leverage. We're gonna do the Green Bay stack. We're gonna do Jordan Love. You guys pick who the stack is. Is it Reed or Musgrave?
Musgrave.
Okay. Musgrave.
I mean, Musgrave, 2,900. God, that's glorious.
Musgrave is going to be chalk.
No, he's not.
No, he won't be.
A rookie tight end is not going to be chalk, David. 13% even feels a little bit high to me. Jamino, 13% feels a little high.
Coming at you.
It's going to be Musgrave, and because all that we already talked about the high price tight ends, not even a thing. So people are just going to punt, and Musgrave and will be the punt. Maybe some Chig and Njoku in there.
I'm not even sold on making this a stack if we don't want to play Love. I'll just pick Musgrave.
No.
But I do think Love has decent leverage off of the Howells of the world. Is there a universe where Jordan Love outscores Sam Howell? Of course.
Sure. Yeah, we just don't know for sure. All right. Davis.
All right. I will pick a running back. I'm going to pick Kenneth Walker of the Seattle Seahawks. I think that it's like a nut spot for him. And 20%, you think?
Yeah, he's showing his chalk.
Wow.
In aggregates, he's showing us higher than that.
Davis, you sure you don't want to jam in Justin Jefferson there? I mean, really, just get risky.
No, I'm gonna stick with that. I do really like this spot for him.
All right, Peter.
Yeah, I just feel like it'd be fun to just have a little bit of a mini correlation. You know, let's put in Khalil Herbert here.
I was gonna go Herbert. He's been one of the guys I've been championing.
He's mine. Kitchen does not get credit for this play. I do.
All right. That leaves wide receiver just wide open. And Oh boy. I'm going to do it. Puka.
Shocking.
Oh my god.
Oh, David.
We're gonna have to
God
spend
damn.
Why?
some money.
I would
eventually,
not-
guys.
I would not have
Why-
done it, but
This
Kenneth
is-
Walker, you've got Kenneth Walker in
Why don't we
here.
play the good wide receiver? Why don't
Yeah,
we play
Van
the one who's
Jefferson?
permission
Permission for the chat to make a 1v1
Yes.
to
Yes,
Tutu.
I'm
With
playing.
any
I'm
3K
playing.
receiver.
I'm
Could
playing
be a
Kenneth
$1 million
Walker.
mistake. It could be a $1 million mistake
me a-
by you guys.
No, because at most I think it's a $20,000 mistake here in the fast twitch downs. $1,000 mistake.
What's first place in the touchdown and tailgates exclusive? Could be like a $5,000 mistake.
When they say that Puka is an immediate contributor, you listen.
Every single rookie who has been drafted is touted by their team as an immediate contributor.
Well, sometimes you need to listen, especially since we're putting Musgrave in here. I mean, same thought process.
This lineup is so trash.
This lineup
No,
is
it's not.
god
It's
awful.
You
not-
say
it's
that.
not-
Really bad.
You
It's
say
not
This
that.
is-
great.
This is maybe the worst lineup in the history of the show.
I mean, it's so
No,
bad that
not even
Sosa hasn't even acknowledged my pick on the screen share yet.
Yeah, he won't put Herbert
Yeah,
in. All right,
he won't
I'm
put
gonna
Herbert
I'm
in.
gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead.
No,
and try and
it's
save.
not your turn. It's Tuttle's turn.
Tuttle, save us, please.
How do you want me to say?
No,
We got money to spend.
We
got
gotta
money.
play Devontae.
We do.
Adams.
Don't pump your bags.
I'll let you pick that. I'll pick somebody else. You can pick Devontae ahead of me. That's fine. I ain't mad at you.
I picked Devontae Adams 7,900 against Patrick Surtain,
you
who I
scared? Aren't you scared?
definitely know. Who I definitely know who that is. Because you know why I know who that is? Because they took him over Justin Fields, and I remember being aghast.
man.
Okay,
This feels
so-
like a gross spot for Devontae at Denver. Got the oxygen
Theoretically
levels
here,
going.
let's say we are scared. Theoretically, who's the primary beneficiary if we're scared of the one-on-one matchup here?
Mims or Dulcich, probably.
We're talking about
They're
Devontae.
on the wrong
Adams.
team.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! It would be your boy. It would be your boy Jacoby
Jacoby?
Myers. Yeah.
Jacoby. So what are we looking at here? Is Renfro slot?
They're
don't
all
know.
slot. They
Or outside.
built the whole plane out of
Mayer?
slot wide receivers.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we
I was when I was doing my best ball drafts. I was so confused. And I didn't want to put any research into it. I'm like, what?
Based
who's
on how
playing
this is
slot here?
going, we should still be best ball drafting.
Yeah, I think my real football guy take is that they probably have Adams and Renfro play on the outside, and that Adams, because Adams played on the outside quite a bit last year. It was the highest average depth of target of Adams's career last season, so I think they probably think that he can do that. So that would mean Myers ends up being the primary slot guy, because they also think Renfro's like a great route runner. So if you're a great route runner, you can win on the outside.
So I'm
but
confused.
It's just,
Are we playing both Devontae Adams and Jacoby
No, we're not.
Myers?
We're not.
no,
No.
Sosa's having an off day.
So what are we doing?
I'm just disgusted with this team. It's hard to focus.
fair. You got to pick an expensive guy, Dan.
Pick an expensive guy. Let's. It feels like we're not having. Well, we don't really have to play ownership game anymore, do we?
No.
Live
Once
little.
you've inserted Puka Nacua in, you can kind of or Love, you can play whoever you want.
Yeah,
He plays
I'll
also in
the
the
big
last
extra.
game of the slate, so just be ready for that late hammer.
Who, Tuttle?
Jefferson. I'll just hit
Jefferson.
the Jefferson
All
track.
right.
That's fine.
I was gonna say if you get in this range and you want to like start the ownership, these Eagles receivers don't look like they're gonna be
that's a good point.
rostered
That's a
at
good
all.
point, Yeah.
Obviously not ideal matchup, but
Well,
Yeah.
we can. Who is it? Is it to me now?
Yes.
All right. Well, we can afford Tyreek Hill here in a $2,900 defense. Let's get in Tyreek.
we're not playing Commanders.
Bears.
They're gonna be the
We
chalk
play the
for the
Bears.
Against
We
our
play the
quarterback?
Bears. We play the Bears against
Against
our
their double
quarterback.
stack.
Love throws a pick six in the first quarter and just spends all game chucking.
Now that's a story.
Or we play the Patriots, or we play. This is not a great man. The Commanders are going to be.
We can play
so
Bengals
chalk.
against
The
Watson.
Commanders are going to be like the chalk.
Yeah, Bengals.
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 We saw this. I feel
Bengals
like
against
we saw this with
Watson.
the team last week or last season, I should say.
Yeah, there it is. Perfectly chrono.
Yeah, this is the Bengals 45% owned spot from last year or whatever.
I'm playing,
that's a fun
I'm double
team.
stacking. I'm double stacking Love over Nakua.
I think that's perfectly.
Everyone gets a free square with the Nakua pick. You get to fill that in how you like.
Yeah,
I'm going for the record with Short King Summer Tutu Atwell.
I'm gonna play a lot of Tutu. I think he's gonna get like 6 targets and 2 carries.
Oh.
It's Short King Summer, baby.
What's gonna happen when Puka scores a touchdown, Davis? What's gonna happen?
You're gonna fire off a tweet that gets 6 likes.
Yeah. I think Dave. I actually think Demarcus Robinson might play over your boy.
All right, let's move on to running backs. Top running backs. Davis, you've capitulated in pretty much every guy I've tried to push, and this will happen again next week.
Well, that's not true. It happened on one guy. It did happen on one guy. You were right about Michael Wilson.
Multiple. Okay, running backs. Deion Jackson, yay or nay, Pete?
Deion Jackson, just the biggest nay of all time. Like, what are we even doing with this Deion Jackson? I mean, I get the whole exciting part about Deion Jackson is him catching a bunch of balls, and that was with a quarterback who would throw to the running back. Does anyone really think Anthony Richardson is checking down to Deion Jackson? I mean,
that was his one good game was with Matt Ryan, and I think he caught 10 passes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get what's the Zach Moss status update? Is he going to play?
He practiced today.
If you want to play a Colts running back, play Zach Moss. I mean, Deion Jackson, I'll say it right now. He's unplayable. There's not one roster where Deion Jackson makes sense. I saw on the Underdog Battle Royale drafts for week 1, Deion Jackson was getting drafted ahead of Samaje Perine in the ADP. I'm like, what are we even doing here? Didn't know there were so many Deion Jackson slappies.
I'm wrong. It wasn't his best game last year was not 8 receptions. It was 10 receptions for 79 yards.
Against the Jags, right?
Yeah, that was his contribution.
I don't get the Deion Jackson thing.
All right. Davis, Raheem Mostert.
Mostert, I think
31-year-old running back.
Mostert, I think, is the good median projection play. I do think it's hard for me to tell if this is best ball brain or not, but I do think that I like Devin Achane. I think that if Devin Achane is going to be 1% owned at 4,900 and Mostert is going to be 25% owned, and Achane for sure will not lead this backfield in touches. Like literally it would have to be if you want to get back in your time machine and remember when Tariq Cohen in his first ever NFL game won someone $1 million. He had 5 carries for 66 yards and 8 receptions for 47 yards, but he had 100 scrimmage yards and a touchdown. That would be the corollary.
Yeah. I just like Mostert he's like a fine play, I guess, but I want to know why like Antonio Gibson doesn't have a higher projection than what he does around the same price point.
Because Ron Rivera loves Brian Robinson, like actually.
Yeah. And this is where my best ball brain comes in. As far
Brian
as,
Robinson was on the 0 RB list, man. You gotta expand your mind.
I know. All right. How familiar are you with the running backs right now, Tuttle, to comment on them?
Here's the thing. I don't think I have to be familiar because
to me
it's all the same names obvious. You know.
Well, no, it looks
just
obvious.
Punt?
If no, because that's what everybody's doing. That's what 60 to 70% of lineups are doing. So who are the high priced running backs that we're taking?
Like Eckler, C-Mac, Derrick Henry.
I'll give you the gold star.
I know Davis's was Bijan. Oh, we got.
I'm gold starring Bijan at this ownership projection.
So the guy who's going to fall into dead man's land of people paying up for CMC, Eckler, Bijan, or paying down for the 5K guys, he's going to get completely lost in the shuffle. It's Travis Etienne at 6,900. No one's going to play Etienne.
I love it.
Ew.
And they're going to crush the Colts, and Etienne is going to go nuclear.
Tank Bigsby's going to have 2 touchdowns.
That's best ball brain right there.
And that's the uncertain backfield too, right?
Yep.
You're taking advantage of both the price point and uncertainty there. I can dig that.
I'd rather pay up a few hundred more for Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to.
I mean, people aren't playing Bijan either, though. I dig Davis's take too. Like, people aren't paying AK here.
This dude, the Panthers stink. Reeves will have the great stats. We'll do our podcast on Friday. Reeves always has the great stats, but he said one the other day when we were doing a show, like rookie quarterbacks and their debuts, like basically it's just like you're just trying for them to not like actively shit themselves. Like as long as they don't leave the game with like Dookie in their drawers, they like pretty much did their job. Like even the Falcons, I bet the Falcons spread. I think that I think it goes pretty well.
Is running back going to be like the most uncertain position from week 1? Because like we don't know how teams are going to deploy their running back situations. We're going to look back and be like, such an idiot. Why didn't I play DeAndre Swift for 5,400? Like of course he's going to be the lead back for Philly. Like that's going to happen, right? We don't know what these splits will truly be, Pete.
Well, chat had one, Josh Jacobs. I mean,
I already said Josh Jacobs because they're going to run the wheels off of him this year.
But that is the thing about best ball brain, right? Like when we take, and as much as I like A-Chain with Davis, but like the Bigsby, like you're taking those guys saying like by the time we get towards the end of the season, they've carved out a bigger role or they've taken advantage of an injury. I think we want to be on the opposite side of those plays in week 1.
Well, I actually wasn't an A-Chain guy for most of the summer until
you started writing tweets saying if Devon A-Chain has only one fan, it's you.
Well, it was the Jeff Wilson Jr. injury, but I did. Jacob tried to A-Chain pill me, and it didn't really work. And then all it took was Jeff Wilson Jr. getting hurt.
Jamal Williams is 5,100. I'm going to read some running backs who are 400 more or less. Rashad White. Raheem Mostert, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Antonio Gibson. Leaving out P. Ryan and Dylan, those guys.
I mean, I think that he is an attractive game theory fade, but this is the Saints running back depth chart as of right now. Kendre Miller, who has a hamstring injury, and Tuttle will know this guy from preseason DFS. Kirk Merritt, who is a converted wide receiver who has never played running back outside of a preseason NFL game. I think Jamal Williams, speaking of best ball brain, I really have like none of him in best ball, but he is going to get 16 carries and 3 targets in this game probably. And that doesn't mean he's going to do anything. I mean, the Titans defense stinks, so he'll probably be
does not stink. It was good last year. You're thinking of 2 years ago. Last year the Titans defense was good, and it gets 2 more.
Chat Sosa, pull up a comment. We got a comment we got to pull up from the chat, which is so true, which is that DeAndre Swift is such the alpha play.
That's what I just said. I just said that we're going to look back and say, I cannot believe we didn't play DeAndre Swift at his price tag.
Yeah. It's a good reminder though, now that we're back. I mean, Pete's eating the salad out of the metal bowl. Like we are back, but we are so back to the point of me saying defenses don't matter. Like I'm not gonna evaluate who's good against the run or whatever. Like
okay, well then don't say
Titans
that
defense go to a
sucks,
different
then.
show.
If you're gonna not evaluate defenses, don't say Titans defense.
Well,
sucks.
David, I just did that to Needle.
Davis, be careful. Based on how many people were watching Liam debate Alex from the FFPC earlier, it seemed like people took that advice about watching another show.
That's pretty funny.
Davis, any Taysom Hill takes from you? Speaking of FFPC.
Look, man, I was just trying to I was not trying to get into a whole thing with the guy.
You
from
started
FFPC.
it. You started it.
I wasn't trying to make it a whole thing. No, I checked. I have Taysom on 0 FFPC teams. Manage, best ball, dynasty. I've got him on. No, it does not impact me at all. But I think it was the wrong decision. I don't envy the decision. I don't envy them, that being their rule, that being in their terms and conditions. I think that sucks, but it's a gray area to say the least.
Terry McLaurin practicing today, so pump the brakes on the Jahan Dotson take.
This is a good one, Tuttle.
Give me
McLaurin
receiver.
No, this is a good one because Tuttle doesn't have best ball brain. Tuttle doesn't know that Jahan Dotson has been, the Virgins have just been, they've been voracious in their appetite. Yeah.
In the 5 best ball drafts I did, I saw that. I was like, what's going on here? Dotson. McLaurin.
So if I were to tell you week 1, how some people are punting with Howell and Cash, which theoretically means they're in a good spot, which theoretically means Howell could be played in tournaments, but Dotson would be twice the own of McLaurin. Would that be a spot that would get you interested?
That would interest me, yes, in tournaments, for sure. You could also double stack, which I don't think will be used very much. But yes, if you just want to do the McLaurin for $1,400 more, agree. Nobody will be playing him. Before we move to receiver, I wanted one quick thing though, because I have zero idea. What split are we expecting out of the Denver backs?
I think it's to be the P. Ryan show.
I agree with Peter. I think they try and get Javonte a goal line carry if it sets up that way. But I think like long down a distance, 2-minute drill, I think that's all P. Ryan.
Feels like 65-35 P. Ryan.
That feels right.
So theoretically, let's say aggregate projections I have in here has that backfield combined for about 24 points.
Yeah.
That also feels
split
right.
That, and so then you throw 70% of that to P. Ryan's way. He's starting to get interesting, I think.
For sure.
But Javonte is the much more likely one to be the fantasy points over expectation guy to score the long touchdown or whatever. Yeah. But I do agree with you, Total.
Yeah. I mean, 5,100, 4-point home favorites. As much as it's been bullish about Javonte Williams, this is P. Ryan. I mean, this is Sean Payton's guy. They're going to come here. I think he's going to get saddled up with touches this week.
We got Denver. We got Denver beat writers being quoted in the chat, and I learned my lesson with Denver beat writers, which is to disregard.
We are at the point of the season where beat writers are now doing their own projections too, which is when it's time to stop tuning them out.
So you don't take into account what Cecil Lammey says, Davis?
Lammey led me astray, man. Lammy.
I want to hear this. This one feels like it hurt you. I want to hear what
Tuttle, do you not know? Do you not know about the Alberto saga?
Well, I mean, I know you're taking Alberto, yeah.
Well, these Denver beat writers, Albright's DMing me that Albert's tight end won. Lammy's at Denver Broncos training camp, just like breathlessly explaining how hard Alberto's working, and then they all just switch their mind. Oh my! I can't even. It's literally.
Stepfather says that Lammey called the Dulcich fade in May, so maybe.
But then he changed his mind. This is why you can't trust him, because he was all over Dulcich in rookie OTAs, and then when real training camp came and Albert looked all good and Albert was starting, I remember they had joint practices against the Cowboys and Alberto scored a 44-yard touchdown, and Cecil Lammey tweeted, "Albert O, tight end 1."
All right, we have to move on. Receivers that you like, we talk about the Chargers and Ravens. Receivers that you like for both of those teams. You got to pick one for each team. Pete?
For the Chargers, I mean, it's Keenan Allen.
Ew.
For the Ravens, it seems like none of them are going to get played. I do think I'm going to exit best ball brain, and I'm going to say Odell. I'm going to say it's Odell.
I agree with it being Odell, assuming that he has a rational ownership projection.
And
I think
Chargers,
he will.
Yeah, no one's like dying to play Odell.
Yeah, I think you're overestimating the Baltimore pass game ownership.
The Slappies love Odell Beckham, dude. Slappies love Odell Beckham.
Davis,
he just doesn't have the price tag, man.
Chargers, I mean, Keenan. It is Keenan. I will I probably in like the $50 single entry, I will play Quentin Johnson for best ball bag defending though.
Not Mike Williams. He feels like the alpha.
No, Mike
tournament play.
is dead to me.
Why? Did he hurt you as well?
No, I think Quentin Johnson is better than him.
Okay, I've had our first official sign of the season. You couldn't make this up. 3 seconds ago on my college football list from the Buffalo News, Mike Williams, one of the finest athletes ever to come out of Riverside High School and one of the more prolific NFL wide receivers Western New York has ever produced.
Wow.
Yeah. Are they?
Oh,
well,
shit. Wait. Oh,
you're reading about the other Mike Williams that died.
Yeah, that has died.
Yes,
Oh, God.
yes.
Oh,
This
no.
has taken a turn for the worst.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was waiting for it. I was like, he doesn't know, does he?
Oh, God. I do not know that.
R.I.P. the original
went
Mike
south
Williams, who played for Buffalo and Tampa Bay back in the day.
Didn't he have
Okay.
that 10 touchdown rookie season?
Right. Yeah, he had a.
Yeah.
He's a stud. So Tuttle grinding those news.
Bad timing. I'm
Yeah,
still taking that as a sign from Mike Williams
Maybe-
above to play Mike
Yeah,
Williams
maybe that's saying
Yeah.
take Mike Williams this year, or this week rather, because Davis, the Chargers have a new offensive coordinator. Do you know who it is? It's
Don't
Kellen
start
Moore.
with me. Yes.
Kellen Moore. Why not take a stab at Mike Williams, who is the deep ball guy there? Mike Williams is dead to me. Poor
guys.
word-
Come on.
Poor wording by Davis.
Can we make a FanDuel lineup? We need a hard segue.
We've gone off the rails a little bit.
Oh my god!
I'm picking first for FanDuel, and I'm picking Mike Williams. R.I.P. that fella. Mike Williams on FanDuel.
That's how you walk it back.
Okay, real
Wow.
quick before we do the other FanDuel picks, the other team I really want to know about is San Francisco. If Kittle's not playing, their receivers.
I mean,
Ayuk?
it just feels like if just for 17 or 18 weeks you just played Debo every single week in your single entry team as a one-off, feels like you're getting minimum one like 34 burger in there, doesn't it? Probably two.
Wait, your thesis is to lock button him every week and just hope for the 230 burgers? I don't know if I like my odds there.
How many 30 burgers are you going to get in your single entry team from wide receivers?
Well, Marvin Mims is going to give me one on Sunday, and then we'll go from there.
All right. So, are you going to be playing Mike Williams on FanDuel for real, Tuttle?
Yeah, he's my pick.
Okay. I like it. I like the
He's got
pick.
to stick to it.
Backtrack now.
All right.
All right,
Um,
Mike Williams,
Davis?
lock it in. All right, I'll pick another wide receiver. I will go with. Oh my God, I just saw Adam Thielen's name. I will go with Tyler Lockett.
Make sure another Adam Thielen's not dead out there somewhere.
Oh my god. No.
Tyler Lockett we chose? Okay.
Yes.
He's cheap.
Jalen Ramsey's not. We don't have to be worried about Jalen Ramsey anymore. No one even. Everyone else in the football watching world now is with me on not knowing the name of a cornerback on the Rams.
Yeah. Plus
Let
he's
me
hurt.
I need to hedge some of my Marvin Mims exposure on DraftKings, and let's get Cortland Sutton in this lineup.
Okay.
Jeez, he's free too.
Yeah.
Right
I
now.
haven't seen FanDuel NFL pricing for a while.
Yeah, right now he's the
$59.
number
It's always
one.
shocking the first look of the season.
Right now he's the number one points per dollar play on FanDuel according to the RG projections.
Does anyone have a hard out today?
I do,
No.
but whatever. Sorry if Dan's in the chat. Just I'll be a few minutes late to the meeting, mobile priority meeting. All right, so we've got last time we did no receivers, and you left me with one receiver to take. This time, make sure that didn't happen. So we're going to get crazy with running back, and
Please, this is where you say like Tajay Spears or something.
Yeah.
no, We're gonna go with Bijan.
That's not crazy.
Did
On
you make a good pick?
FanDuel.com.
Wow.
Because this might be the cheapest you get him all season.
I don't think that's true. I just think it's a really good spot.
If he goes off Davis, this will be the cheapest he is all season.
David, it's
He's pretty
FanDuel.
cheap on
They
FanDuel.
probably won't adjust his price for like 3 more weeks.
Davis, you don't know the FanDuel cash streets like I do. Okay. Tuttle?
What do we want to do here, fellas?
We need a
I'm just going to
quarterback.
take the. I'm going to take
Hey,
Tyreek in the flex
Oh,
Okay.
for the stack, for the game stack.
all right. So we need some cheapies.
Let's head over to defense.
Just
Let's
plug in
do,
the top 20 per dollar play for now.
Well,
Yeah,
Let's
I
play
think
let's play the Broncos. No, let's play
Yeah.
the
Or the Cardinals,
I think the Cardinals. Yeah.
3,700.
I'd rather have the Texans against Baltimore, but whatever.
Hmm.
All right. So the Cardinals against Washington, 3,700. That gives us 66.33. If we go tight end,
Can we get up to Tua or Herbert? I think that should be our goal.
okay, I'll go Chig
He's
for my
cheaper.
tight end.
Shocking. I actually think he's fine.
He's 5,100. He's basically
Yeah,
free.
I think he's fine.
And so
Yeah, we got
now
plenty
we've got plenty of money.
Hmm.
If you slot the cheaper of the two in, so you slot Tua in there, that gives us 71.
71 for our second running back, and we can play Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker again, jamming Kenneth Walker.
We could.
What about Ramondre?
Yeah, I think that's fine
Because
I mean,
people
you
are
wanna
not
talk-
going to play Ramondre.
Yeah, I was going to
this
say
week.
people are not going to play Ramondre at all.
You're gonna be so scared of Zeke. All right. All right. Real quickly, we got to move on. Tight end. Kittle's not playing.
Well, he might play.
Andrews, we just don't know.
Back at practice. It's his birthday. He's going to be fine.
Okay. So what are we thinking about tight end?
Just make your amends with your maker and play Kyle Shitz.
Wow.
No, that's like the guy that you do not play this week.
You literally want to talk about a guy with one of the best ceiling projections who no one will play because it's all ideological. Everyone hates Kyle Pitts. I hate Kyle Pitts. If Kyle Pitts comes out, you want to talk about cheapest he'll be all season. If he runs 77% of the routes and goes 4 for 85 and a touchdown, cheapest he's going to be all season.
Feel like Njoku is the guy.
I mean, Musgrave is the play. Wow, the gift master.
Sosa was having a rough show, but man, he's turned things around.
He brought back Kyle Pitts' only NFL touchdown.
All right. Tuttle, any tight end takes from you?
No, not above what we've talked about.
Okay. Freiermuth, another best ball guy that we've kind of talked about. Like he and Njoku are in that pick, that 9th round range of guys to target.
Yeah, we should mention Goddard. I mean, 5K. Yeah. He definitely seems like there isn't a ton of safety at the position. I feel like Goddard at that price is probably one of the safer picks.
Okay. Any other guys you like, Davis?
I mean, I do think Chig is playable. I like Njoku, and 3 different ways to zig in games where their teammates are going to be popular. Everett for the Chargers, Njoku and Irv Smith from if you want to stack the Browns Bengals game. And then I was actually being serious about the min price Durham Smythe on DraftKings.
I was just going to say Smythe. Yeah.
I don't really see a way they play anyone else. I mean, they cut Robbie Chosen. So Barrios is the slot guy. But, I mean, Smythe is a blocker, but the other Dolphins tight ends are really blockers. Like, they are extreme blockers. It is Tyler Kroft, and actually an undrafted free agent rookie, Julian Hill, is the third tight end. Speaking of which, I just picked him up on a Dynasty League. Peter, check your Dynasty Leagues. We all got trades to make before the season starts.
Higbee, people mentioned Higbee without Cup.
Yeah, Higbee is maybe the cash game tight end. I mean, it's Wednesday. I'm not there yet.
And then Michael Mayer could be the guy that you come off of Musgrave if you want another rookie tight end. Really want to jam him in. All right. We got Tuttle's terrible take of the week coming up, but before that,
Tuttle forgot.
We do.
I'm pretty sure we already got a good Mike Williams one that kind of fit the bill.
Yeah, I thankfully I
mean, Durham Smythe just got mentioned unironically, so maybe we've already given enough terrible.
Mike
takes
Williams
for
is that guy. All right. Let's wrap it up. Davis, final thoughts.
I mean, it's the same every year. Week one, the overconfident spots get blown up. Someone who's 0.8% owned binks the millie. Like, just if you're going to get weird anyways, and don't forget to go all in on the weirdest week of the year because you get double tier credits for my fellow grinders out there. So it's a good week to overextend yourself. For those of you in the chat who think I'm bad, I don't even necessarily disagree, but if you do think I'm bad, you can send me a head-to-head. My username is Davis Mattek on DraftKings, and I will accept those.
Yeah, you got some comments in the chat that were, I don't know, the chat was having a rough time with you.
Hey, chat, they can feel free to send me.
Leave us some comments. Davis needs some love too. And then Pete, final thoughts.
Don't send me head-to-head. Save those until week 18. I just hope I see everyone in the fast twitch free roll, and we all 1v1 3K wide receivers in that contest to chop up the 1K top prize.
Yeah.
Please dupe me, bro. 'Tis the season.
It's the season. If you want to copy our homework, you can do the new props and pick'em package on RG. So you can tell the experts there. We also have all of our projections, college football package, Tuttle helping out behind the scenes. So again, the amount of detail that our projection team puts into the products, it's pretty awesome to see. And I will say, if you're looking forward to watching the games, 4 games at a time in multi-view, then check out the Kavish newsletter, because that's the type of content you're going to get there. Davis, you want to say one last thing? I know.
Well, I'm about to do a show with Blender and Brick about the sim wars that are going on Twitter right now. So I'm very excited to hearing those two duke it out.
And speaking of sim products, I've got a meeting I have to make now. So on behalf of Tuttle, Davis, and Pete, and the surprise spoiler producer Sosa, I wish you all a very, very productive week one. Just take it from someone who's been a best ball finalist. You have to just basically keep that separate. This is a new season, a new week. It's either year 10 or year 11 of the Swolecast. It's going to be a fun season. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next time here.
We didn't even talk about Tuttle's fund that he just started, the Tuttle Investment Fund, the Go Woke, Go Broke Fund.
Okay. We will see you guys next time here on the Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com.